Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other videos that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Home cooking is a lot of fun, particularly if you can create a dish with the flavor that you love and enjoy. This chicken chow mein dish is a good example. By using my fast cooking system, you're able to cook this dish with practicality, efficiency, creativity, and fun. Nancy loved chow mein, and she cooked this chicken chow mein dish using template rather than recipe. And with advanced prepping, she can pick many different ingredients to go into this dish. And with flavor chasing, she was able to create the flavor exactly how she would like it. The end result is that each time when she cooks a chicken chow mein dish, she's always very happy with it. This chicken chow mein dish can be divided into 3 separate steps. They are continuous, but however, each of the steps are distinct. They represent a particular template. The first step is to stir-fry the chicken. In this case, Nancy cooked the chicken first with a thin layer of cornstarch. First of all, she spot seasoned her wok to create a non-stick cooked surface. The method she's going to cook the chicken is frequently referred to as shallow frying. She placed the chicken onto the surface of the wok, and she will let the chicken to fry for about 30 to 40 seconds. She spread out the chicken into a thin layer. Basically, the method is very similar to deep frying, except with shallow frying, you only need to use a small amount of cooking oil. This method is actually very helpful in create flavor of the chicken that is both moist and tender. The cornstarch has another advantage. It creates a thin layer of breading on the surface of the chicken. The chicken cut into very thin slices, and because of this reason, it cooks very fast. Usually it cooked on one side for about 30 to 40 seconds, and then you flip it over to cook the other side. As you notice that the surface of the chicken actually being brown due to the presence of the cornstarch. During shallow frying, the best way to manage the chicken is to use a pair of long-handled tongs rather than use a wok spatula. The tongs will allow you to address each piece of the chicken separately, and this way you can turn the chicken according to their doneness. The cornstarch has another important advantage because it absorbs moisture from the surface of the chicken. The end result is that it keeps the chicken dry. Because if the chicken is wet, it will reduce the oil temperature. That will avoid searing of the chicken, and that's the reason I never marinate chicken for this purpose. The second step in cooking this dish is to cook the vegetables. There's distinct strategy in cooking the vegetables. The chicken by now is probably about 60 to 70% done. I first add some asparagus. Now, asparagus require very short time to cook. Next, I add some green bean. This green bean also requires very short time to cook because this green bean has been blanched in water. The blanching will actually allow you to cook the green bean exactly the way how you like it. In fact, blanching has another distinct advantage because it allows you to able to keep the green bean for the longest shelf life in the refrigerator. Without blanching it, the green bean go bad much faster, but with blanching it, it will last longer. So this is an effective way help you to extend the shelf life of the green bean. And next, I add some carrots to the wok. Normally, I will add the carrot earlier during the cooking process, but in this case, I add it later because my wife likes the carrot texture to be firm and crispy. And so in this case, by adding them later, I will retain that texture. By this point, the dish is pretty much done, and I'm going to season the dish. I'm going to season it with the way that I always enjoy, and that is with oyster sauce. I'm going to use about 1 to 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. I use a squeeze bottle, so I really do not do any measuring. Now we come to the final step of cooking this dish, which is to add the noodles to the dish. Now the noodle is cooked in advance. This is pasta noodles, and I store them in the refrigerator after I prepare them. I usually boil about 2 pounds of pasta noodles, and I store them, and they have pretty good shelf life, and I can use them for many different purposes. Usually, I will be able to make 5 portions of pasta noodles, and each portion is about 2 to 3 cups of noodles, which is just enough for 2 persons. And you can use these pasta noodles for almost anything that you would like. I use it for regular spaghetti meal. I also use them for pan-fried noodles, which is a Cantonese type of chow mein that you fry the noodles. And I use them in lo mein as well. At this point, making up the noodles is really quite simple, and I use a pair of tongs. And the last thing I decided I'm going to add is some cherry tomatoes because I have some in the refrigerator. The cherry tomatoes will add color to the dish. They'll also add flavor as well. And this will allow you to make use of different vegetables that you have. When I flavor a dish, I use a technique known as flavor chasing, which means that I keep doing taste tests. And in this case, I decided I want the dish a little bit more salty, so I add some soy sauce. That's the best way to increase the saltiness of this dish. Furthermore, I decided I'm going to add a little bit of hoisin sauce. Now, the hoisin sauce is great for adding sweetness to a dish. Instead of adding sugar, you can add hoisin sauce. It also makes the dish more flavorful because it has umami molecules in it. Last but not the least, I add a touch of sesame oil. This is a spicy sesame oil, which is a sesame oil also contains hot oil, and this makes the dish more interesting. I add only a small amount, so this will not make the dish spicy at all. In fact, you can hardly taste the spiciness. And whatever the flavor being added to this dish, what it does is that it increases the complexity of the flavor of this dish. Cooking this dish is fast and convenient. In fact, the total cook time is only about 7 to 8 minutes. When I think about cooking this dish, I can envision that it actually includes 3 separate parts, or you can call it 3 separate templates. The first one is that you cook the chicken. In this case, I shallow fry the chicken. And of course, there are many other ways to cook the chickens as well. And you will find the method that you will like best. For us, this shallow frying method by coating the chicken with cornstarch turned out to be the best way to keep the chicken both moist and tender. Also gives the chicken a light, crispy breading on the outside. I never marinate the chicken simply because I want to make sure that I'm able to sear the chicken, because if I have moisture associated with the chicken, that will reduce the oil temperature and that will prevent the chicken from searing. And all of these are some of the techniques that after a while you will find out what might work best for you. And then when I cook the chicken, I cook it to the point that it is almost about 70% done. I'm going to let the remaining part of the chicken to cook when I add the vegetables. Now in this case, the second part of cooking this dish is designed for speed. The first vegetable that I choose to add to the wok is asparagus, which takes only very little time to cook. The second vegetable that I add to the dish is some green bean. Now, green beans normally take longer to cook because of its high fiber content. However, you can shorten the time during stir frying by blanch them in advance. I blanch a large portion of green bean and I use it for several different meals. So this is one way to improve the efficiency of the cooking process. And the next ingredient that I add is some carrots. Also takes very little time to cook, in this case by intention, because my wife liked the carrot to be more crisp and crunchy. And the final vegetable is tomatoes, which add at the end. With advanced prepping, you have many possibilities to substitute the vegetables of other types, because with advanced prepping, you have different vegetables to choose from. And sometimes you do choose it because of its availability, other times you choose it because of your preference. The last ingredients that add to this dish is the noodles. The noodles is prepped in advance, and I usually keep the noodles available all the time, so I can always have a noodle dish that I want. So as you can see, with the fast cooking system, it provides you with a lot of flexibility to cook the type of the dish that you want. And so consequently, you will find your cooking always be interesting. And it is up to your creativity as well as your preference of the type of food that you want to have that night. You can cook it exactly the way how you like it. And this is what makes home cooking sustainable. because you can enjoy your cooking with the type of flexibility and adaptability to the situation as well as your desire at the time. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. With this cooking system, it will help you to make home cooking practical, efficient, creative, and fun. But most importantly, that it will allow you to cook the food with the flavor that you love and enjoy. Once you become your own very best cook, you will not want anybody else to cook for you. This is when home cooking becomes sustainable. So if you'd like to learn more about my fast cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.